forget was the last thing I remember saying. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, they say if you spend enough time in the valleys, the peaks will just start to take care of themselves. So why am I still climbing? Why? It's the same movie being played over and over on repeat. Well, I'm done watching, okay? I'm done watching! This is a story about young love and old memories. I remember waiting for the sun to rise. I remember where we went wrong that night. I remember way too much. I remember way too much. I remember waiting for the sun to rise. I remember where we went wrong that night. I remember way too much. I remember way too much. Ay, I remember when we wished we were older. I remember how we felt late October. I'll always keep you warm, that's what I told her. I'll always keep you warm, that's what I told her. I remember wishing on a fuzzy clover and writing your name all over my folders. I'll always be around, that's what I told her. I'll always be around, that's what I told her. I remember waiting for the sun to rise. I remember where we went wrong that night. I remember way too much. I remember way too much. I remember waiting for the sun to rise. I remember where we went wrong that night. I remember way too much. I remember way too much. I remember waiting for the sun to rise. I remember where we went wrong that night. I remember way too much. I remember way too much. And you know I can never forget all the trouble me and you got in the summer of 2006. Baby, you know I can never forget. I remember sneaking out and coming over. I remember freaking out, I wasn't sober. I hope I end up with you, that's what I told her. I'm gonna end up with you, that's what I told her. I remember waiting for the sun to rise. I remember where we went wrong that night. I remember way too much. I remember way too much. I remember waiting for the sun to rise. I remember where we went wrong that night. I remember way too much. I remember way too much. I remember waiting for the sun to rise. I remember where we went wrong that night. I remember way too much. I remember way too much. That's what I told her.
All right, so there's a lot of things I want to go over tonight. Basically, I've had this. Well, thank you everybody for stopping in. First of all, I don't know how much of this I'm going to leave up on YouTube because I'm going to be switching over here pretty shortly. But I wanted to, because I'm going to be covering a lot of other content, so I won't be able to do it on here. I'll probably edit some of it and put it up here eventually. But my Montauk stuff and my Scientology and my conspiracy stuff is getting me in trouble on YouTube. So I'm not going to do as much of it there. But basically, okay, when I got involved with Scientology 10 years ago, probably about 10 years ago now, I had one sole interest in Scientology, and it was basically what L. Ron Hubbard used when he first started Scientology. It was his Dianetics book that came out first, and they were talking about past life regression therapy, which is now in modern day Scientology auditing. The only difference is who you have doing the guided meditation with you, or your auditor. That's it's just different terminology for the same thing. And then an auditor has different goals than somebody that's doing a guided meditation for past life regression therapy. Um, there was a project ran by the CIA, and it was called Project Stargate, where they were using remote viewing, astral projection, and telepathic abilities to help them in the war efforts. They were using it to find submarines. They used it for several different things, and the program ran for, I want to say, 10 years, or no, 2 years, and it ended up costing like, I think they said up to $1 million a year. It wasn't like a crazy amount of money. And then inside of that time, they recovered more than $10 million worth of lost aircrafts and stuff like that. I'm using all of this to tie this together because I stumbled across an interview today that kind of like brought all this together. There's a gentleman who is involved in goddamn near every conspiracy that is a 21st century conspiracy, or 20th century conspiracy, and he was also the attorney of L. Ron Hubbard in his tax case, as well as who else did he represent? He represented a lot of people. I'll go over all of this, but basically, I didn't realize this. So there's a couple guys that were kind of the head up in the CIA Stargate program, and it was Joseph McMoneagle, is it Price? Is it Pat Price? Did he have involvement in it? I can't really remember offhand. Well, I'll get the names again here in a second. But I didn't realize that they were all recruited from Scientology. Basically, they had recruited these people with these abilities from Scientology because they were ranked as some of the most, most equipped people for this. So they got some of the highest ranking members of Scientology that were good, past life regression therapy, astral projection, and anything else that would be considered in the ESP field for humans. And what I didn't realize is that Joseph McMoneagle's commitment to Scientology was more than his commitment to CIA and the U.S. government. He was actually a double agent for the U.S. government, and everybody thought he was like, I don't know, like bullshitting everybody, but they didn't realize he was relaying all of this information back to Scientology. And this attorney that I'm going to cover, what up, Exile? And this attorney that I'm going to cover, he ended up representing Hubbard in this case, and he said, I'll let you do it. I just want, he said, I'll represent you and help you out with this, but you got to give me access to all of Scientology's records. And so he gets access to Scientology's records, and he basically asks about himself, and then he asks about the 3 most important things to keep secret in Scientology that they have. And they gave him this information, and sure enough, it involved remote viewing, ESP, and I don't know. I knew I had this crazy fascination with Scientology for this direct reason, and because I knew there was something to past life regression therapy, ESP, astral projection, and all of these things. And then you hear about this guy that fucking was involved in all of it. And it took me so long to kind of unpack this. I've honestly probably watched this video. I've listened to it at least 10 times today. It's a fucking 3-hour video. I've just been trying to unpack it piece by piece. Because my original interest in, I guess, the occultist side was with L. Ron Hubbard's fascination with Aleister Crowley and then their connections. And then I didn't realize that Montauk had ties into this as well as other CIA operations. And then It also ties into Kennedy assassination. It ties into the person that actually killed Kennedy, who took the shot from the grassy knoll. Like this guy covers everything. He represented so many different people all throughout U.S. history. And my God, I want to set up an interview with the guy. I'm not sure where everybody's at tonight. But yeah, I'm going to cover a little bit of this. First, while I'm on YouTube, I will pull it up so everybody can see it, because I'm going to want to at least share it with everybody so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because it sucks not being able to play it for everybody and go over it with everybody. Because I'm gonna go over it on my end, but everybody that's watching on YouTube might not get to catch this. And I'm gonna have to go back and fucking take out shit. But oh well. It is what it is. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, I've been focused on this idea all day today and trying to go over how I wanted to think about this. Let's see if I can pull up the guy. Okay, so the guy that's doing the interview is Jesse Michael. Yeah, so the guy channel on YouTube that it is, his name is Jesse Michaels. Give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna pull up some more stuff. Daniel Peter Sheehan. Yeah, Daniel Peter Sheehan. Let me see here. Is the name of this guy that's absolutely involved with everything. So he's going to be the main person and subject I'm going to be talking about on this. And they also tie in Charles Manson and all of these other things as well. Okay, so so this guy represented Daniel Peter Sheehan. He represented, he worked with Bobby Kennedy. He worked with people about the JFK assassination. He's worked with L. Ron Hubbard. There was an endless list. He's friends with O'Neill, who wrote the book about Manson. This guy is involved with so many things, as well as Castro stuff. He knew about what was going on with the Watergate shit and the mob connections. Like, I don't even know why the government keeps this guy around, and he never gets, what's it called? He never gets clearance, so that I don't remember what he's got. Almost like a plausible deniability. He like if people ask him for help all the time, and if people ask him for help, he basically says, "I'm going to ask you for something," and he really does throw the ball out there. Like with Scientology asking him for help, he was like, "Yeah, give me whatever I want from Scientology. I want to be able to ask questions about all of this stuff." I've read countless books on the subject of astral projection. The one that did it for me was Practical Astral Projection by Ophel. He was a whole series of magical books too. Okay. Ophel? Am I saying that right? But yeah, I'll have to check that out. This stuff blew my mind today. I wish I could sit here and play it. If you guys want to see what I'm about to cover, here, let me see. I'll show you what the channel is and stuff like that. And then if you want to watch it in its entire, thing, then you can. You're aware of the law of one. Law of one is popular. the popular theory. This actually almost, some of the stuff that they talk about in this actually almost made me reconsider um, the possibility that aliens could be physical and not interdimensional. For the longest time, I've kind of leaned towards the idea, well, it's going to cover aliens, it's going to cover time travel. We're going to cover a lot of things in this show today. So I wish I could go over everything with everybody. Let's see here. The man involved in every American conspiracy. Bio here. Daniel Peter Sheehan is a Harvard-trained constitutional and public interest lawyer, public speaker, political activist, and educator. He's been a public defender in about half of the majority of the major American conspiracies in the last 50 years. He knows more mind-blowing names, dates, and timelines than anyone when it comes to the JFK assassination, Watergate, Pentagon Papers, Iran-Contra, etc. He's a walking encyclopedia and also incredible deep on UFOs, having represented all of the biggest whistleblowers. It was an honor to speak to him. Please enjoy this bombshell interview where he reveals the true political history of the last 50 years. And I'll just give you some of the chapter names here. We got government UFO disclosure, alien encounters, remote viewing in Scientology, internal government psyops, John Mack and the alien abductions, UFOs and nukes, UFOs, religion, experiencers, and psychic ability, photos of the President Carter investigation, UFO photos of President Carter's investigation, JFK and UFOs, JFK assassination, Brown Brothers, Harriman, which is like the prelude, the financial backers behind the CIA before it was started, FDR, Nazi Germany, and the CIA, JFK continued, MK Ultra, UFOs and consciousness, Watergate, Karen Silkwood, epistemology and truth, Eric Walker, and Robert Sarbecker. So it's actually going to be covering a lot of topics, but yeah. So if anybody wants to see this, I'm going to be over on X. Let me see. I'm going to pull up my page for you guys so you can. All right. Otherwise, it's you can go there to see the broadcast that's live right now, or if you remember what my Twitter handle is. Hold on. I think I know what it is. Okay, so if you're gonna look me up on Twitter, find me right here on Twitter. That's where this show's about to be. Yeah, I'll sit here and shoot the shit with people for a minute, and then I'm gonna jump into this show. But if anyone wants to talk about this with me, I'm also going to put it in the title on YouTube. That way people can join afterwards. Actually, I don't know if I have enough room. Let's see. Nope, I don't. Put it in top of the description. If you missed the YouTube live, come on. What up, Brett? I don't like this computer. Get used to typing again. Hold on a second. I'm typing a bunch of things. I think I did it. Hold on. All right. What up, Brett? What you up to this evening, sir?
I drink too much.
What? Getting wacky over there?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Huh?
Said nothing wrong with that. Having a little fun. Had a flat tire on my way to the show.
Bowling alley.
Oh, you were at the bowling alley? Oh yeah, if you're bowling, you can have a few adult beverages. Had a flat tire on my way to the show tonight.
I was
Not the
bowling.
first time I've dealt with flats. However, this time one of the wheel bolts twisted right off on me with the nut. Still made it to the show in time. Nice. At least you still made it. Not good that you got a flat tire. Just got bored while you were playing? Not enough people there playing, or what?
I was watching.
Oh, you were watching bowling. You weren't even playing?
Yeah.
That takes all the fun out of it.
No.
You like watching?
No, I like bowling.
Oh. I'm going to say, I've been like that with most sports. Like, I can't sit in the stands and watch. It drives me nuts. But yeah, I'm getting ready to jump into some Scientology, some religious talk, some astral projection, and a bunch of other crazy stuff. Sounds like you lost one of the lug nuts. So, as long as you only lost a couple of the, I mean, as long as you have most of your bolts. I don't know if you got a 4-pronger or a 5-pronger, but yeah, depending on how many you lose, it could be a mess. Why is my computer won't autoplay for some reason? Driving me nuts tonight. I'm gonna get fucking angry in a minute. Oh, silly Jacob. But always after me, Lucky Charms. And then in this, I don't know if it'll matter. Oh yeah, it's definitely scary. Is it a donut on it or a spare? And I would say, it's always better to have a spare on there than a donut, because I watch way too many people. What's it called? Drive around on donuts for way too long. I think you're only supposed to go on it for like 100 miles or less. All right. Well, if no one else is going to join us, then I'm going to get into this this interview here. It's a long one. Everybody's ready. Let's see. And then if you see this video on YouTube, we're switching over to Twitter and Twitch now. So see you later.